guys, Varian here. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing the 3 most often criticized points I get, the 3 most critical comments I get the most. I saw the Minimal Mom do this video and I thought it was so interesting because it definitely covers the things that you guys are probably all thinking, the criticisms that y'all probably have, and I wanted to get a chance to respond to them. So I'm going to dive in. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Varian. I make videos about being a mom and being a Jewish mom, and I would love it if you hit that subscribe button down below, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram where you can see much more of my everyday life and criticize it. I'm kidding. Okay, so let's jump in. Before we get started, let me just give you guys my most critical comment about myself in my videos, and that is, can you guess? That I touch my hair too much, and I know it, and I do get comments from you guys about it too. I'm like, whoo. And every time I watch myself back, I'm like, stop touching your hair, but it's just a habit. So that's my self-critical comment. Yes, I know, yes, I do my best to stop, but I don't know, I can't help it. Okay, so my number 1, I will say most criticized video is Chicken Gate. So this is one of my, I don't know, my first videos, definitely in the first like 6 months I had my channel. I filmed a Shabbat chicken recipe and y'all loved it. The video has done super well, but with that has come a lot of critical comments. The first one, which I'll jump into as my second most critical comment, but we're gonna get to it, is that I used butter in the recipe. So it is not a kosher recipe. So it's a Shabbat chicken recipe that uses butter. Now in the video I say if you wanna make it kosher, use margarine, but nevertheless, it includes butter. But anyway, so I get a lot of critical comments about it, and the number 1 most criticized thing, it just makes me laugh, is that in the video, I dropped the chicken on the floor. I know. I don't know how often you guys cook, how often kitchen mishaps happen to you, but I would say I'm a fairly clumsy person, and things like this happen all the time. I mean, my chicken isn't always on the floor, but like one thing or another, it's just like my everyday routine is things are falling and dropping and breaking, and that's just how I live my life. So in the video, I did not wash the chicken because I'm paranoid about salmonella, and the more you move things around, like raw meat in your kitchen or wash it or do things like that, is more of a danger of spreading germs. So my top thing in my mind at that time was I'm not going to wash the chicken. All I did was, it was my kitchen, my own kitchen floor. Okay? It wasn't like the outside world. It's just like pre-COVID. My kitchen floor was very clean. I just picked it up. I don't know, I brushed it off maybe because heat kills all germs. It was about to go into a 400-degree oven. Like, it was fine, okay? I still, to this day, don't regret doing it, but I regret putting it in the video only because I got so many comments about how could I possibly put the chicken that fell on the floor into the oven. But yeah, mea culpa. Anyways, my second most critical comment, and this gets into like the real deal, which you guys came here for, is that I don't keep 100% kosher. And a lot of people get frustrated by the fact that I have a channel about Judaism, and this kind of gets up to the more overall big critical comment about me, that I don't keep 100% of Jewish laws. Not that anybody does. But specifically about kashrut here, this is what I want to talk about. I keep kosher in my own way, and I've also kept kosher in different ways throughout my life. So I do feel very comfortable talking about it and sharing it with you guys, because there was a time where I had separate dishes. I never ate any meat that wasn't hechshered. Like, I've been through it all. I've lived in Israel. I've experienced all the different levels of kashrut, and I've landed on what feels right to me, and I feel confident in my choice. I believe this is the way. I have many feelings about labeling of kosherness. I actually will make a whole separate video, but what it boils down to is there's a Okay, sorry about that. My memory card just died. So there's a lot of politics in the koshering system and who gets to give out what certificates of kashrut. And to me, some of those decisions are not based on Jewish ethical law, but on businesses and getting the right to get a certain stamp on food. And I'm not here for it. Second of all, there have been some issues with kosher meat and ethics. Now, all of kashrut, I think my husband's blowing the leaves. Now, the laws of kashrut, the main, most important one to me, is the idea that we separate milk and meat because we never want to cook a baby cow in its mother's milk. There's an ethics behind this, including how animals are slaughtered, etc. Now, of course, the most ethical thing you can do is not eat meat, 100%. But if you're going to, you want to do it in the best way possible. You want to eat the least amount possible. You want to buy from a place that's as kind to the animals as they can be, that makes the slaughtering process as least painful as can be. I hate talking about this, but basically you just want to do your best. When I was growing up, I thought the stamp of kosher meant that it was doing its best. That's not always true. There are some amazing butchers. I will mention one, which is Grow and Behold Meats, and I know that they do an amazing job, and there are some that do less amazing jobs, and there are ways to buy meat that's not labeled kosher that I do believe is better than the ones that are labeled kosher. That's a whole long conversation, but basically the point is I do my best. To me, the label of kosher is not always the best label out there. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't, and that's just the reality of how my family lives these days and how my husband likes to eat and things like that. So I just share with you guys my truth. This is how I live my Jewish life. That's how it works for me. And I get that some people have an issue with that, and that's totally fine. And I always welcome comments, criticisms, and discussions right here in the comments. Okay, my third and last criticism kind of builds on that, which is that I am not an Orthodox Jewish woman. And what that means is that I don't follow Jewish law the way the Orthodox movement in Judaism interprets it. Now, some people will say that I don't follow all the laws or the highest level of Jewish law, but I disagree. So to me, the conservative movement, which is, if you don't understand, there's Reform, Conservative, and Orthodox, and each movement has different laws and interpretations of the laws. To me, the way I was raised, I believe that conservative Judaism is the way that Judaism should be interpreted. Obviously, I'm happy for everyone to do whatever works for them. But to me, conservative Judaism continues the original path of Jewish law, which is that evolves with the times, that Jews should always be part of the modern world and part of the country that they're living in and adapt to modern times, and that laws should change and adapt the more we learn, the more we understand about science, about humanity, that it all should grow. So to me, the conservative movement does a really good job of holding tradition, but not just for tradition's sake. If there's a reason to, for example, be more inclusive to community members, to reevaluate gender roles, I'm here for it. And I believe that that's how Judaism always was, but there are movements within other parts of Judaism that have said, no, we're gonna freeze it just as it is right now, or more like how it was in the 1800s or the 1920s. And that's how Judaism should be. And then there's the Reform movement that says we're gonna do what feels right to us. And that's totally fine. I'm fine with anyone to do what they want, but I practice the Judaism that I believe is the way to practice it, the way I want to practice it. So when people criticize me for not covering my hair, for not dressing modestly, for not keeping Shabbat, as in like totally refraining from technology and things like that, or for being a woman who does things that a man might traditionally do, I say to them, that's one interpretation of Jewish law and custom, and one that I don't subscribe to. So that's just me. If you're here subscribing to me, then you might be interested in my take on these things. But like I say, I am very happy for people to do what they want, follow their own heart. I'm just here to share how I do it. So I hope you guys like this video and are interested in my responses to the critiques. And yeah, if you did, give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see more, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.